Shalom. We give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Arakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and those of great millstone. Shalom to the hopefully elect. Got a video here. We're just gonna go ahead and check this video out and probably do some commentary and stuff like that.
Enlightened and excited. So first off, a video. It's going to make you see the future and understand a wonderful future where we can use brainwaves to fight crime, be more productive, and find love.
Can use brain waves to fight crime, be more productive, and find love. Right? Doesn't that sound like he's trying to sell you something that's a horrible idea? He's trying to sell you a terrible idea. Be more productive, find love, fight crime. You know, using your brainwave activity. Using your brainwave activity. Come on.
Let's roll.
You're in the zone. Even you can't believe how productive you've been. Your memo is finished, your inbox is under control, and you're feeling sharper than you have in a decade. Sensing your joy, your playlist shifts to your favorite song, sending chills up your...
You hear that? Sensing your joy. The AI can sense your joy. Because this is what, look, man, this is what Esau wants to do. Transhumanism, right? He wants to merge AI with you. All right? He wants to put an implantable device within you so that you can be in sync with AI. Which, if you looked at the advancements of AI that's been going on, man, you'd be, you know, that's how they run all these different algorithms and gather all this data, you know, through social media and web browsing and all this thing. Esau just gathers up all this data and he uses AI to create these algorithms, which are basically like thought processes, you know, and through these different algorithms, he's able to place groups. He's able to group lumps of people and categorize them and all these different things. You know, so he wants you to be a part of that. He wants to extract your brainwave data to add it to this AI data bank.
spine as the music begins to play. You glance at the program running in the background on your computer screen and notice a now familiar sight that appears whenever you're overloaded with pleasure. Your theta brainwave activity decreasing in the temporal regions of your brain. You mentally move the cursor to the left and scroll through your brain data over the past few hours. You can see your stress levels rising as the deadline to finish your memo approached, causing a peak in your beta brainwave activity right before an alert popped up telling you to take a brain break. But what's that unusual change in your brain activity when you're asleep? It started earlier in the month. You send a text message to your doctor with a mental swipe of your cursor. Could you take a quick look at my brain data? Anything to worry about? Your mind starts to wander to the new colleague on your team, whom you know you shouldn't be daydreaming about, given the policy against intra-office romance.
Look at that. Look at that, dude. How are they trying to sell? How can they sell this as a good thing? But the thing is they're not selling it to regular people. They're selling it to these people that are in charge of things, that run Fortune 500 companies, that employ, hundreds of thousands of people. This all looks fucking fantastic to them because they can monitor their employees' brains, what they're thinking about. Like she looks over at her coworker and she gets an alert on her fucking computer. This is the future that Esau wants. Complete control. You know, the elite. They call people that they look down upon goyim, bro. Cattle, sheep. That's what you are to them, man. And they want to brand you, tag you, monitor you 24/7, make sure that you're being productive, right? China, they have that system that's like a social credit score thing. All that stuff, man, that's the future that Esau is looking for here. That's all part of the image of the beast. All right, we're living in the beast system, man. And this is the image of that. This is Esau's image for that, you know.
But you can't help fantasizing just a little. But then you start to worry that your boss will notice your amorous feelings when she checks your brain activity and shift your attention back to the present.
Could you
You
imagine that? Could you imagine having a boss that can check your fucking brain activity?
breathe a sigh of relief when the email she sends you later that day congratulates you on your brain metrics from the past quarter, which have earned you another performance bonus. You head home jamming to the music, with your work issued brain sensing earbuds still in. When you arrive at work the next day, a somber cloud has fallen over the office. Along with emails, text messages, and GPS location data, the government has subpoenaed employees' brainwave data from the past year. They have compelling evidence that one of your coworkers has committed massive wire fraud. Now they're looking for his co-conspirators. You discover they are looking for synchronized brain activity between your coworker and the people he has been working with. While you know you're innocent of any crime, you've been secretly working with him on a new startup venture. Shaking, you remove your earbuds.
What do you think? Is it a future you're ready for? You may be surprised to learn that it's a future that has already arrived.
He's like, is that a future you're ready for? Everybody's like, I don't know about that. This bitch says, well, too bad, because we're fucking doing it anyways. We're already doing it, so deal with it. Yeah, they're already running this shit. This is what they're doing. Why isn't this in the forefront? Why isn't this information being pushed to the masses? Because there would be a huge backlash, man. But nobody fucking in America watches this type of stuff or cares to look at this type of stuff. You know? Regular people ain't looking out for this type of thing, but then that's the scripture, right? What is that? Uh, Habakkuk 2:1, where it says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower. And I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Well, the main point being that I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower. So we're actually watching, and we see these things and we report on it, And this is the 2023 edition of the World Economic Forum, Davos. Their presentation, just basically their presentation for the future, right? There's so many things are going on. There's so many things going on at once that are all in play here, but it's all, it's just Esau building up his new world order, right? The beast system, the image of the beast, which this is all a part of that image, all right? This is all a part of that image, along with just full-blown wickedness and evil. Do as thou wilt,
Everything in that video that you just saw is based on technology that is already here today. Artificial intelligence has enabled advances in decoding brain activity in ways that we never before thought possible. You've heard a lot about AI over the past few years. Here at Davos, it's been the talk of the hour. But I want to talk about it in a different way, which is the ability to decode brainwave activity. After all, what you think, what you feel, it's all just data. Data that in large patterns can be decoded using artificial intelligence. Consider this, the average person...
See, artificial intelligence is completely tied in with all of this. That's like... Esau's tool for complete control, man, is this AI that's able to run these algorithms in order to separate and label and categorize everything, and that's pretty much what Esau is doing. And he's already been gathering a huge bank of intelligence just off of web browsing, social media, everything that's posted on social media. All this stuff is all databased. It's all banked, and the AI gets a hold of it and sorts through it, and creates these algorithms. And that's how you go to Google and you fucking click on the Google and it has all these suggestions, because it's these algorithms that get created. It's your own personal profile,
Person thinks thousands of thoughts each day. As a thought takes form, like a math calculation, you're happy, you're
Look how fucking excited she is when she's talking about this shit too.
You're tired, you're hungry, you're elated. Neurons are firing in your brain, emitting tiny electrical discharges. As a particular thought takes form, hundreds of thousands of neurons fire in characteristic patterns that can be decoded with EEG, or electroencephalography, and AI-powered devices. In fact, what you're seeing here is my brain activity while I'm wearing a simple device like the one on the right. We're not talking about implanted devices of the future. I'm talking about wearable devices that are like Fitbits for your brain. It used to be that there was very little we could tell.
Now she's saying that, right? Wearable devices. This is how it's going to start. All right? This is how I should say this is how it's starting, because they're already doing this shit. They're already doing this. But we know that they already have implantable devices. Okay? They already have implantable devices. You see, this is the thing. You got to read between the fucking lines. Every time Esau says, I'm not going to, I know the potential for this, but we're not going to do that. That's exactly what they do. They turn around and they do the worst fucking possible thing that you could think of. The darkest thing that you can think of. That's what ends up happening, right? But he'll come out, he'll tell you like, oh no, hey, well, we're not talking about implanting anything, But at the end of the day, they have that technology ready to go. They have Elon Musk. Yeah, that guy Elon Musk. He's putting brain chips in people. He's putting microchips in people's fucking brains. Okay? And the scriptures talk about this. The scriptures talk about this, bro. This is the warning. Right? First off, let's go to Revelation 12:12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you." That's who's ruling the world right now. Is the fucking devil. Who else could come up with some shit like this? Fucking monitoring brainwave activity. Using AI to create algorithms to fucking decode your brainwave activity so they can know what you're thinking about, what you're feeling. They can monitor your brain. They can monitor your thoughts. And it gets crazier as the video goes on. It gets crazier for the shit that they can do. And this is just what they're telling you they can do, And you think that this guy, who is notorious for committing heinous crimes against humanity, all right, heinous crimes against the earth, isn't going to do the darkest thing that you could possibly think of that can be done with this fucking technology? It's exactly what he's going to do with it. Because woe to the inhabitants of the earth and to the sea, for the devil has come down unto you. The guy that's wielding this fucking power is the devil. All right, Esau Edom, the so-called white man. That is the devil. He's ruling the world. This is his technology, that he's trying to implement in the earth. All right. It says having great wrath because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So he's going to force people, to get with this, And the funny thing about it is he's slowly nudging you off of a cliff. So everybody's gonna be like, oh no, it's all right. Oh well, it's still okay. All the way up until you actually getting thrown off of the damn cliff, basically. Is how he's doing it. Slowly nudging people into the slaughterhouse, man. And once you're in there, it's too late. And it's already too late. The whole system is in place. They're just setting up the final. And then what? They're gonna say, well, you gotta get these implantable devices now. Otherwise, because this is what's gonna happen. Revelation 13:16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, remind me later. Let's see. Let's go back to that. All right. I'll do that 13 times. Go Rev 13. And Mark Karagma. Look at the word. Look at the word for mark here, which is charagma. It says a stamp, an imprinted mark. The mark branded upon horses, a thing carved, sculpture, graven work. What do they do when they're graving a sculpture? They're piercing it with a pointed instrument. All right, a scratch or etching. All right. It's a physical mark. It's a physical branding. Something etched into you. Right? Let's see. What's this?
Can you open this?
This is from the root word karax, right? Charagma. This is karax. A pale or stake. A palisade.
Dad, can you open this?
All right. And what do they use to put that microchip in you with? A pail, a stake, right? It's a needle. It gets stabbed into you. All right, a palisade. Let's look up the word palisade. What does that mean? It's not a fucking car. A fence of wooden stakes or iron railings fixed in the ground, forming an enclosure or defense. All right? Something that gets stuck in the ground, stabbed into the ground. It's a stabbing instrument. That's what karax is. Okay? A stabbing instrument. That's what's going to be used to make this graven work, right? They're going to stab this thing into you. This is it, this is what they want to do. This bitch just said about implantable devices, which they have. Is it a fucking coincidence that this is where the entire world is heading towards? This technology is where the whole fucking earth is heading in the direction of cashless society. All right, this brainwave shit and RFID technology in which they have implantable devices for it. Is this a coincidence that the Bible is talking about this? No, dude.
From EEG activity. But already using consumer wearable devices. These are headbands, hats that have sensors that can pick up your brainwave activity, earbuds, headphones, tiny tattoos that you can wear behind your ear.
See, Esau comes crouching, bro. Esau likes to come crouching. That's the thing about this guy. You know? Let's see. 1,400 instances of that. Come on, dude. I need you to sit down. No, just go sit down, please. Okay. What's that? I swear this is the worst search engine. Anna, give me my phone. Look over there. Give me a second here. Right there. This search engine on this website is horrendous. Okay. I gotta search it up on my phone real quick. You need to just wait, Anna. Okay. So let's go 1611 and here. So it says, yeah, this is Sirach 12 and 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. It just gets worse. It just gets worse. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching. Yeah, because what is he trying to do? What is this bitch trying to sell you? She's trying to come up to you all, you know, crouched over. Oh, it's just implantable devices. We're not talking about implantable technology, you know. It says, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, right? Because you can see straight through the bullshit. And thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Right? You can see through him. You can see through this. When you have eyes, man, it's so clear. It's crystal clear. All right? So easy to see straight through this nonsense. How you know, it's like having uh, you know, what would be a good analogy for this? You know, it's like a wolf trying to get into the hen house, and the wolf is telling you, I'm not gonna eat any of the chickens. I just want to smell the chicken, you know. I just want to, you know, just want to get next to the chicken. I don't want to eat the chicken. But if you let the fucking wolf in there, what is he gonna do? He's gonna eat all the fucking chickens, bro. Esau telling you, you know, we're not gonna do this. It's not gonna be used for this reason or that reason. You know, no, he's gonna use it to the full capability that it could be used. You know, if Esau says, if he got a hammer in his hand, he says he's not gonna hit you over the head with it. Best believe he's gonna hit you over the head with that fucking hammer. That's exactly, you know, what is taking place here.
We can pick up emotional states like, are you happy or sad or angry? We can pick up and decode faces that you're seeing and
They can pick up and decode face, and they have an example here that just they can read somebody's brain activity and actually put together the image of what you're seeing.
your mind. Simple shapes, numbers, your PIN number to your bank account. It's not just your brain activity here that we can pick up. We can also pick up your brain activity in different places, like as you're
So it's basically like we know everything that you know. All right, we know everything.
your neurons fire from your brain down your arm and send signals to your hand to tell you how to type, move. All of that can be decoded through electromyography. And that's what you're seeing here is a device now in the form of a simple wearable watch that can pick up that activity. And one of the pivotal acquisitions of the field, Meta acquired this company, Control Labs, in 2019, because major tech companies are investing in helping to make these devices universally applicable as the way in which we interact with the rest of our technology. In fact, the coming future, and I mean near-term future, is these devices being the primary way in which we interact with all of the rest of our technology. Rather than a mouse or a keyboard, you can simply swipe with your mind. Move your hand more seamlessly when you're in VR or AR. Use your...
See how this is how they want to bring it about, you know? Esau likes to get you comfortable with things. You know, he's coercing you. It's witchcraft. You know, it's like you know, a kidnapper. You know, he pulls up on the block in an ice cream truck and he's luring the little kids in with fucking ice cream. But what's his plan? His plan is is to commit egregious crimes to these kids, to these children that he's luring in with this ice cream, you know.
Brain as the way in which you interact with all of the rest of your technology, which is an exciting and promising future. But also
Right? It's an exciting and promising future. Right? Let's see, what is that? Is that Psalms? Let me see, because you know this. Okay, yeah. All right. Let's see. Oops. Psalm 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. This is how this devil is, man. He's got a forked tongue. He'll tell you one thing and then do the complete
a
opposite.
transformative one that will change the way that we interact with other people and even how we understand ourselves. Let's take a look.
Because it opens up new and dynamic forms of control. This is where some of our core technologies like EMG come into play.
Neural interfaces, when they work right, and we still have a lot of work to go here, feel like magic.
So if you send a control
Feel like magic.
to your muscle saying, I want to move my finger, it starts in your brain, it goes down your spine through motor neurons, and this is an electrical signal. So you should be able
This is Esau. This is the miracles, man, that he's going to use to deceive people with. All right. This is the great deception here. And a lot of you people are you're going to fall for this shit. All right. It says if he could deceive he would deceive the very elect, bro. Right? Let's see. Of course. Look at how stupid this search is. I put deceive them and there's a million thems. It's just everything with the word fucking them in it. Just good God. I might have spelled deceived wrong too. Let's see. No, see, this search engine is ridiculous. I could put the same thing in the search engine on my phone and it'll know exactly. It'll find like 4,956. Like, come on. This one in this my app on my phone just gives me 11 results. It's exactly what I want. You know? Let's see, okay. So that's Revelation 19 and 20. So Revelation 19 and 20 says, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. So this thing is serious. There's going to be a harsh judgment for anybody that falls for this shit here.
to grab that electrical signal on the muscle and say, oh, okay, the user wants to move their finger.
What is it like to feel like pushing a button without actually pushing it? That could be as simple as, hey, I just want to move this cursor up or move it left. Well, normally I would do that by actually moving. But here, you're able to move that cursor left. And it's because you and a machine agreed which neurons mean left and which neurons mean right. You're in this constant conversation with the machine.
This new form of control, it requires us to build an interface that adapts to you and your environment.
It's an exciting future, a seamless future. It's a future that has already arrived in many contexts throughout the world, and especially in workplaces. So it turns out that one of the most compelling early applications of this technology is to be able to decode at least some simple, effective states of individuals that can potentially improve their well-being, potentially improve productivity, but certainly transform what our lives look like in the workplace and in our everyday activities. While we can't literally decode complex thought just yet, there's a lot that we can already decode that's quite relevant for the workplace environment. Consider the fact that right now, many workplaces have individuals who have to be awake and alert at all times in order to do their jobs well. Sometimes that doesn't happen. Take this example where this trucker decided to take a 20-hour shot for a 1,500-mile ride, well exceeding the amount of time that any trucker, long-haul trucker, is supposed to drive. His employer didn't discover his choices until the fatal accident that was disastrous for the company and cost many lives. But he could have known much sooner. He could have detected whether or not the trucker was entering into the earliest stages of microsleep, starting to go from being alert to tired well before it occurred. And he could have done so through a simple hat, a simple wearable hat that has embedded electrode sensors that would pick up brainwave activity and give a score between 1 to 5 to help the employer and the employee know what stage of alertness the person was experiencing and whether or not they were starting to fall asleep. Now you might think, okay, we have driver assist technology in cars already, why do we need this? It's because this happens much sooner, much more accurately, and it gives you the real-time information that you need in order to make choices to intervene before a person is perilously exhausted. And we as a society should want that. We should want a technology that enables us to be safer.
Right, and isn't that sounds very familiar. Actually, because how is Esau always selling this shit to you? Safety. Peace, right? It's actually a scripture there. All right. This is exactly what's going on right now. So this is Daniel 8:25. Actually, let me start up here. Daniel 8:23. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. Now, what does it say about this devil? He had become wiser than Daniel. And this is in the book of Daniel. And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power, right? Because the Lord is who gave this devil his power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. You know, this happened already. This is going on. This is the power of understanding, prophecy and all that. You know, this is happening. Verse 25, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. By peace shall destroy many. And what does this bitch keep selling? Safety, peace. You know, oh, we can prevent terrible things from happening. Right? But that is not the true purpose of what this technology is for. This technology is for oppression, control, and dominance, bro. Destruction, imprisonment. All right? Complete control over you. Complete and total oppression. That's what the purpose of this technology is. Don't let this stupid bitch fool you.
To all be able to exist in an environment where commercial drivers or individuals who need to be wide awake are wide awake when they're supposed to be.
This shit is a weapon.
Because when they're not, the consequences are disastrous. While plane crashes are much less frequent than other forms of accidents, at least 16 plane crashes in the past decade have been attributed to pilot fatigue. Which is probably why, in more than 5,000 companies across the world, employees are already having their brainwave activity monitored to test for their fatigue levels. Whether it's the Beijing-Shanghai line, where train conductors are required to wear hats that have sensors that pick up their brain activity, or mining companies throughout the world, employees are already having their brain activity monitored, and it very well may be something that we want to embrace as a society. Okay, you might be shuddering, right? That was certainly my first reaction when I discovered that we are tracking brainwave activity in the workplace and that we can do it at all. But I believe we need to have a much more nuanced conversation about it, because I think done well, neurotechnology has extraordinary promise. Done poorly, it could become the
She's drinking the Kool-Aid up, man. She's drinking it up.
most oppressive technology we've ever introduced in a wide scale across society. We still have the chance to make it right. All right, well, does the same analysis hold true if instead of trying to monitor whether a person is falling asleep or awake, we decide that we want to monitor their attention levels to see whether or not they're paying attention and being productive? I would argue maybe not. How many of you wear something like an Apple Watch? Fitbit, smart device? Yeah, many people. It's a many billion-dollar company. I mean, many billion-dollar industry at this point. Wearable devices, quantifiable self is just a widespread movement. Most people are very comfortable with at least some forms of human quantification. In fact, it's become so widespread that most people feel like there's not that much to worry about when it comes to doing something like monitoring your heart rate. But it turns out that that kind of technology in the workplace, particularly when it's used to monitor productivity of employees, where they're moving throughout the factory floor, whether or not they're taking breaks or unscheduled breaks, is the kind of thing.
This is exactly what Esau wants. He wants to be able to monitor and control every single action and thought that you take. And if you think that that sounds good, then you deserve to fry with this place. You deserve exactly what you're going to get. All right? You think this technology is good, you deserve all the damn plagues that come with it. Let me tell you that.
Thing that employees resist, unionize against, rise up against, and undermines morale. What we've seen consistently is companies from Amazon to Tesco to Walmart and others have introduced what is considered to be bossware or surveillance technology that employees really don't like it, even if it makes their lives better. Okay, well, if you don't like your job, just quit. But what if there's nowhere to go?
What if there's nowhere to go? What if there's no choice here. There's no fucking option. There's no, I don't like that. If you don't like your job, just quit. Well, guess what, buddy? It's everywhere. Just like, the the cashless society that's on the horizon. Total cashless. You don't get the option to pay. Well, I'd rather pay in cash. There's going to be a point in time very soon where that's not going to be an option for you. They're going to be like, sorry, buddy, we don't take cash anywhere. Anywhere. There's nowhere you're going to be able to, you're going to be forced to use a card or smart pay or fucking whatever the case may be, you know, QR code. You're going to have to, because it's going to be everywhere, because they are slowly locking you in.
Everywhere has ubiquitous monitoring. In fact, during the pandemic, what we found was that 80% of companies admitted that they use at least some forms of so-called bossware technology to monitor the productivity of their employees. Whether it's a white-collar employee monitoring what's on their screen, or in any other context, surveillance is part of our everyday lives. Surveillance for productivity is part of what has become the norm in the workplace. And maybe with good reason. 9 out of 10 employees waste time during the workday. They focus on other things. There may be good reasons why we want to be able to find better ways to monitor whether somebody is paying attention or they're doing something different. The newest way to monitor attention is through a device like this one. These are ear pods that are launching later this year. These ear pods, much like the video you watched earlier, are ear pods that can pick up brainwave activity and tell whether or not a person is paying attention or their mind is wandering. Okay, well, you might think, fine, but even if we can tell whether a person is paying attention or their mind is wandering, you can't tell what they're paying attention to. You would be wrong. It turns out that you can not only tell whether a person is paying attention or their mind is wandering, but you can discriminate between the kinds of things that they're paying attention to. Whether they're doing something like central tasks, like programming, peripheral tasks, like writing documentation, or unrelated tasks, like surfing social media or online browsing. When you combine brainwave activity together with other forms of software and surveillance technology, the power becomes quite precise. So what do we do with this? What do we do with technology that enables us to monitor brainwave activity for attention? Do we embrace it? Do we resist it? I believe that there is a pathway forward with such technology, but it's putting it in the hands of employees, enabling them to use it for themselves as a choice, whether or not they want to focus, whether or not they want the technology in order to improve their own performance, but not using it as a measure of their brain metrics to decide whether to fire them, hire them, or to watch for their lagging cognitive decline over time and using it as a way to discriminate against them.
You know, we know that's exactly how this is going to be used. You know, this whole presentation is full of shit. They know exactly what this thing is going to be used for. It's the same shit that things are already used for, you know.
We might soon even use the technology to help people wake back up. This is a haptic scarf that MIT Media Lab has developed, which uses brainwave technology in a responsive way to give a person a little buzz. Literally.
To give a person a little buzz. So it will physically shock you if it feels like if it reads that you're nodding off or falling asleep. This thing will fucking physically shock you. A little buzz.
When their mind starts to wander, to help them refocus.
When their mind starts to wander, or if you start daydreaming or thinking about other things than your work task, this thing will fucking shock you. It's a damn shock collar.
Their attention. There's another pathway forward with this technology which I find to actually be quite exciting and something that I think companies should be experimenting with. And that is the use of the technology to make the workplace a more responsive workplace to the individual worker. We've all heard the whole idea that robots are coming for our jobs, that there will be no jobs left for humans. With generative AI, I think we have good reason to wonder how we're going to integrate that in ways that keep us relevant and challenged and important in the workplace. But there's a different pathway forward, which is a responsive workplace. One where humans and robots and AI work seamlessly together in order to optimize a better and healthier workplace. In one experiment, Penn State researchers were able to show that by monitoring brainwave activity with AI in a factory setting, the robot could sense stress levels in the individual and change the speed with which they were giving tasks to the human, calibrating it so that rather than suffering from cognitive overload, it would bring it to levels of cognitive load. This idea of cognitive ergonomics is what I think is the future of the healthier workplace, a place that adapts to our abilities, slows down when we need to slow down, and helps us to reset so that we don't suffer from endless cycles of stress.
Right. Or let's think about how it would really work, is that you have a machine that's monitoring you and knows what your output capability is, and it will increase the workload because it knows through your data that you can handle it, because it knows how far it can push you. Do you think the people in charge of these workplaces are going to give you a break? No, they're going to increase productivity by making you work harder, because they're going to be scanning your fucking brain and your vitals so they know how far that they can push you. This is complete and total slavery we're talking about here. This is slavery on the highest level.
In fact, Microsoft recently did a study on employees during the pandemic. Using brainwave activity, they were able to discover a couple of interesting insights. One is Zoom-based or other video-based meetings are more tiring for our brains than in-person conversations. And this is because of misaligned gaze, because of also the way we've scheduled it. People do back-to-back meetings where you had 5-minute breaks in between. They also discovered something else that's quite interesting, which is that the different backgrounds for each person is also more stressful for the brain. So they introduced together mode, which has the same shared background for each of the people who are on the screen, which brings down stress levels, all responsive to brainwave activity. These are innovations that can make our lives better.
These are innovations to further enslave you. It's witchcraft. It's just them finding ways to make you more comfortable with being a slave, is all it really comes down to. All right, it's all witchcraft.
So what's the pathway forward?
This whole country is built
and
upon
in some contexts,
this whole system is
surveillance
built
of the
upon
human
witchcraft.
brain can be powerful, helpful, useful, transform the workplace, and make our lives better. It also has a dystopian possibility of being,
which we know through the scriptures, that's exactly the place that it's going. We don't need to watch any more of that. That's more than enough of that video. All right. But we know through the scriptures exactly what it's going to be. He had power to give, Revelation 13 and 15, he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy, sell, or trade. No man might buy or sell save he that had the mark of the name of the beast or the number of his name. So it's exactly where this is going. All right, all roads lead to this, and them trying to say anything other than that is complete fucking bullshit, and they know it is. She knows it is. You know. This is the near future. But hey, man, the Lord is not going to let that happen. The Lord is going to destroy all this stuff. All right, this scripture is very clear. You know, when you read this scripture right here and you see all these things that this guy's doing, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? If it's not this motherfucker, then who on earth else could it be? So with that, I give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kakudash, double honor to the apostles, and that was a great millstone, and shalom to the hopefully elect.